Hello everyone, Martin here, back with round 4 of this Legacy League playing Food Chain. I have run the dice roll. Maybe I've won the dice roll in every match. Anyway, no complaints from me. I will keep this hand on the play, seems alright. Let's go Bayou Thoughtseize into Baleful Strix. I think Bayou Thoughtseize is going to signal to them that I am a, what's it called? Turbo Depths deck, I guess. Alright, let's see here. So this is a Delver. Ooh, Stifle. Sauce. Alright, so double force. Delver. True name. Delta C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the Stifle. So Stifle is a little bit awkward with our two fetch lands, but what I think we're going to do is we're going to take the True Name, and then hopefully they will tab out for Delver, and then we can at least get one of our fetch lands cracked, and then play the Strix. We'll take it from there. Or they might, be, I would say, greedy and just keep Stifle mana open. Seeing as I didn't take the Stifle, I'm signaling that I am not that concerned, I guess. So Delver and True Name and Stifle. I'm just going to guess it's still Grixis, but that's interesting. I don't remember seeing Stifle a whole lot. And they are just going to sit on their old Stifle. I draw another fetch land. Well, let's hope they didn't draw Daze. That'd be kind of annoying. Unless they drew Daze, then this is going to be a 2-for-1 regardless of what happens, I think. Okay, we get to keep it. Leovold is great, but they are sitting on double force, so Leovold is going to him them if I get a chance to actually play him. And there's a Wasteland. Alright, well, I mean, now the Stifle game is real, right? So I could choose to Stifle on their crack on their upkeep. They'll Stifle. They'll have used their mana for the turn. They'll cast Delver, I guess. Or I could just go like, let them keep sitting on that thing. So I wonder if they're gonna, okay, so they deployed Delver. So they have 2 Force of Will to Stifle and 2 cards, I don't know. Yeah, I don't hate just hanging back here a little while. Spell Snare. Alright. We have a few spell snareable targets in our deck. Manipulate Fate and Baleful Strix, to be precise. So if I get to cast a 3-mana spell next turn, I think I'm going to lead with Food Chain. And then they can, they'll probably force that. And I think I'm just going to let that happen. Then maybe try again. So they choose not to shuffle and just sit on their Delver. That's fine. Another Leovold. So what do we want to do here? I'm not actually sure. Getting a Food Chain Dazed would be kind of terrible, and them sitting on 2 Stifles would also be kind of brutal. So I think I'm going to let them use their mana on their turn. I mean, right now nothing is happening, so I'm going to fetch on their upkeep. Okay, so they stifle. So I think I'm going to fetch again. Something tells me they drew another stifle, and that's why they've been sitting on that. Well, I guess not. All right, so this is going to get forest, and Delta is going to get swamp. This means that we aren't casting Mist Hollow Griffin just yet, but we can cast the other big cards in our deck. Or sorry, in our hand. I guess what they have, probably Young Pyromancer? Not sure. Okay, they have Lightning Bolt. So their hand is Force, something, something. So do we care? Like, losing the Strix is actually not very good for us. But, I mean, if we force, then they're going to force back, I think. Oh yeah, they have a Spell Snare as well. So I think I actually like forcing here. Because I think that Delver represents, like, a pretty clear path to victory for them. Oh, well, what do you know? So I'm gonna just Hymn to Tourach their Force of Will and probably other Force of Will. Or maybe Spell Snare. I would be surprised if they let this resolve. Very surprised. They are thinking about it. Oh, okay. Wow. Pardon me. So we know that they had Force Snare, and they drew True Name Nemesis. All right, so now we are on a bit of a clock. We draw Manipulate Fate, which is going to get Spell Snared. So I'm going to play Leovold here, and he will hopefully draw out the Force. And hopefully with a Spell Snare pitch. No, with Force of Will pitch. Okay. So that Spell Snare is really just locking down this play here. Okay, they're offering up the trade, which we, I think, are obliged to take. Maybe they have another True Name. I feel like this attack with Delver signals that they have another creature. I could be wrong. Yeah, ugh, Angler, rendering our Decay defunct. Okay, well, so now what happens? So now we play Strix, they Spell Snare it. And we pass the turn and we take 8, dropping to 3, and then we're just dead. So I think we're just dead regardless. What could we draw? So if we were to draw next turn, so we get, assuming they don't draw a lightning bolt or a counter spell next turn, or that they're sitting on one. Oh no, I mean they're sitting on the Spell Snare. Okay, so next turn we drop to 3, and we draw a card. Then we can cast Manipulate Fate, and we draw a card off of that. So if what we draw is, I guess, No, is there anything? Is there even anything? Just trying to work it out. Draw land now. Cast Manipulate Fate. Draw into Strix. Cast Strix. Draw into Ballista. I think that's the line. Well, I guess Brainstorm. Is that... Can we win if we Brainstorm? I guess we could draw like... we could draw into Eternal Scourge, Walking Ballista, and land or Deathrite. I think I'm better off brainstorming. Mind you, they drew something. Oh, wow. Oh, that's heartbreaking. We almost got there. We got the Griffin and the Ballista. But sadly, yeah, we would have needed to also have drawn like a land and a Deathrite. So that's 4 cards. Okay, so we are out for the count. Too bad. Alright, so against Delver, I guess I want to be more of a control deck, I think. So Deluge against the True Name Nemesis seems really good. Edict seems good there as well. Sylvan Library seems really good. Hymn to Tourach seems really good. Now, what doesn't seem that great? Well, blue spells do not seem that great. So maybe, I don't know, I mean, I want to say maybe cut and manipulate Fate, but I mean, Fate and Griffin is just such an excellent combo against them. Force of Will does not seem all that hot. I'm not loving just thought seizing, taking the damage and all that. Actually, I think I also want the Murderer's Cut, because that can take like the Gurmag and a bunch of other stuff. Probably just no Thoughtseize whatsoever. I mean, Thoughtseize is nice in that it takes a True Name, but we have ways to answer True Name now. Maybe we can cut down to 3 food chains. And maybe go down to 2 fates. I'm not sure. I'm sort of just making this up as I go along right now. I haven't played this deck in a long time, and like I said, been away from Legacy for a while, so I'm really kind of rusty. I can't help but feel it. Actually, oh no, I think I was supposed to cut a Trinket Mage over Manipulate Fate. Ah, well. Yeah, Trinket Mage seems probably at its weakest with this sort of setup that I have painted myself into a corner with. But let's be on the play. And let's mulligan. And I guess keep. Wow, this is a kind of hand that Delver will really punish. Like, if they have an answer for Deathrite and then are able to wasteland us, or if we just don't draw any more lands. So, yeah. I guess they have the Bolt for the Deathrite, would be my guess. Alright, well, we have redundant Deathrites, so, but we really are struggling if we don't draw more lands. So if they daze this, I think we just have to let it get dazed. Oh, thankfully they didn't. Just, I don't think we can go down, like, having mulligan, I don't think we can go another, like, down other ways. Alright, so if we were able to, like, resolve Leovold, that would be huge, but unfortunately we can't do it with Force of Will backup if we draw a land, and we can't cast him without a land, so I think I just have to hope to get to draw into some lands. And they do not shuffle on that Ponder. All right, let's see what happens. Trop, go. I guess just play out the second death right. And I think we attack. I think life points might actually end up mattering here. But it does suck that we were telegraphing that we are not sitting on like a Fluster Storm or something. So if they go land True Name, I think we have to force. Or do we? Maybe not. Well, there's a Wasteland. At least it turns on our second death right. Uh-oh. Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt Wasteland. Brutal. Come on, land. No! So yeah, I think actually now playing around Daze is probably correct, but we are in a heap of trouble. Well, we did have an opponent mulligan to 3 in the deciding game, so I don't feel like I'm really in the spot to feel hard done by. Okay. So I think right now what I'm saving this Force of Will for is like True Name Nemesis. I guess if they draw into like another land and then Lightning Bolt our death right, it's probably tantamount to a loss anyways, but I think we need to get really lucky right now. I guess they have a death right? Or, oh no, this feels like a Gurmag Angler. I guess I'll have to force that. Come on, land. Nope. Well, good news is if we draw a land, if our death right is still on board, we'll actually get to cast Baleful Strikes. I guess that's something. Meanwhile, we just have to hope our opponent doesn't have anything. Ah, crap. So this is a Delver deck with Snapcasters. That's interesting. Alright. Land? Hey, what do you know? Where were you last turn, Tropical Island? Alright. What do you have for me? Jace, maybe? Jace would seal the deal. Liliana. So she kills Baleful Strix, and she puts 2 cards in for top library into graveyard, return creature card. So they get that's pretty nice with Gurmag Angler. Well, that doesn't make things easier. Land? Yeah. Alright, well, even though this Strix is going to die to the hands of Liliana of the Veil, I think we have to cast it and cantrip off it. Okay, so they had the Strix, or the Snare. What does her ultimate do? Emblem, between your end step, X, where X is 2 plus number of zombies. Okay, so that just spirals greatly out of control, and they get like an army of Baleful Strixes. Okay, let's try this brainstorm here. They probably have a red blast for it. That would be my guess. Nope. Okay, well, good news is we actually have a kill here in a few turns. Bad news is that they probably will be able to disrupt us. Okay, so next turn, if we still have our lands, that is a pretty big if. We're going to cast a food chain. I expect to get that Force of Willed. We can cast another food chain. Then that'll get Force of Willed. No, actually, that better not get Force of Willed. Alright, well, let's see if we can get that far, because now they're going to recast the big guy, the fish. And so we're going to go down to 13 from the Snapcaster. We cast Food Chain, gets forced. They attack us to 6. We cast Food Chain, we die. So, that's, yeah. They have to not have a way to interact with us, which I happen to find pretty unlikely. Hopefully they have just Pyroblast and Spell Snare. That would be really good. Come on, resolve, 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 resolve. No! And the next card we're drawing is unknown card as well, I believe. So we're just dead, right? Attack us down to 6, and then we can play a Walking Ballista, and we won't die unless they can answer it, which they probably can, but yeah, no, we're out for the count. Alright, well, we fell to the might of Grixis-ish control Delver, everything and anything. Alright, well, too bad. I'm going to try and see if I can get salvage the last match. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll be back with round number 5.